Super Playbox 64.
Super Playbox 64. Super Playbox 64.
Okay, this is the second annual. Annual? Actually, that would.
That means we do one a year.
Well, so far that's the way it's been. This is the second episode of the year, possibly the last for the year, depending on if we get another one out. And the way it looks, since the last one, we probably will not. I am Wonder Boy. With me, as always, is
Pink Stuff.
And
Android.
Love it. How you guys doing?
I'm ready for action.
What kind of action?
All the action.
Live action role play.
Live action role playing.
LARPing. Lightning bolt.
Lightning bolt action.
Lightning bolt action. What? To me, is that better?
Yes.
Okay,
Much better.
There we go. I just don't want to breathe in it again.
You won't.
Breathe out of the corner of your mouth like this.
I can't do that either.
Oh. All right.
Anyway.
You can cup it like this too, like balls, kind of.
Like I'm getting ready to.
Well, he's got the better mic because he's being a dick.
He?
Yeah.
It's not really any better.
Well, it's better.
His mic is bigger.
Yeah, well, I mean, in the life of humanity, bigger is better always. Correct.
His mic is bigger and his earphones are bigger, so I'm trying to figure what's going on here.
Compensation.
Well, I guess he's honest about it.
Tiny,
Nostrils.
No, those are pretty big too.
The proportions of my face are exactly correct, except for my nose.
Because you're an android. But say that in the Schwarzenegger voice.
I have no idea how you say that.
Yeah, I was going to
Think
try.
about it like
Schwarzenegger voice.
Come on!
My
I can do
CPU is a
that.
neural net processor.
A learning
I'm
computer.
learning computer.
Okay.
My face is completely proportionate,
First,
Except for my nose.
except for my nose, which is slightly off.
First, I'd like to start off by saying that we have how many views of the last podcast?
I think it's like 96.
96 on YouTube.
YouTube. How many of those are you?
3.
How many of those are you?
3.
None of them are me. So 6 of them are from us.
But we only have one comment from another person.
Yes.
And I don't remember what they say.
Probably terrible. Probably says, just go die.
Never do another podcast, please.
Why did I waste time on this?
Yeah. Well, you know what though? 96 views in 3 months. I guess that's not too bad. We're not Justin Bieber yet, but we're getting there.
Thanks for listening, though, for the guy who left the comment.
Yes.
Good or
and
bad.
we have had one person say, "When are you doing another episode of Super Playbox 64?"
One person said it.
Yeah,
So,
twice though. He said it twice.
One guy said it twice.
So.
And neither one of you believed me when I told you.
Well, he told me once though.
Yeah.
So.
All right.
I didn't believe you the first time.
No, he didn't.
I'm sorry. I didn't
that's
believe we
okay.
had fans.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, tons of them. They're out there.
So to
They're
you,
waiting.
I can't remember your name, but thank you.
Android?
No, the guy.
Oh. I thought you were looking at him. So
Well,
I
so
sort of stopped
thank
paying
you
attention to
too.
that conversation.
You're welcome.
Thank you for having a beard.
You're welcome.
beautiful.
Thank you for having a better beard.
Nothing.
Butterbeer from Harry Potter.
You're welcome.
3 broomsticks.
Are we going to get to topics
Yeah.
on hand?
Yes.
Let's do that.
Topics on hand. Well, let's first off, let's start off with Anne. What are you playing right now? Let me preface this by saying you can't mention Skyrim yet. Go.
Elder Scrolls.
Motherfucker.
Sorted you out.
Okay. All right. I don't like that. Mention something else. Are you playing anything else other than Skyrim?
Tropico.
Tropico.
There you go. That's a good one.
For those who don't know, what kind of game is
Probably don't know. It's an RTS. It's a you basically build your Cuban city with your type of dictator.
And it takes place in...
between the years of 1950 and 2010.
that? Sounds terrible.
Yes,
Oh,
it's not for everybody.
Okay, so it's like a Sim City, correct?
Yes, a much
Okay.
poorer Cuban Sim City. Yes.
Poor bastards. Can you destroy your towns?
Yes, and you can arrest people. You can kill them. You can have them have accidents.
So it has a sense of humor.
Oh yes, grandmas, pregnant women, you name it. You can off them.
I'm horny.
Grandmas.
Yes, grandmas as well. They will tell you, and you can look at your list and see who's retired. In one case, I did massacre all retirees because Social Security was getting up there a little bit high in one of my edicts.
All right.
Oh. There we go.
Hello, kitty cat.
Anyway.
What's that, pussy cat?
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Thank you.
Oh, no.
Leave that in.
What are you playing right now?
I don't know, Brain.
Not really what I was going for, but I'll take it.
Well, still the Minecraft. And
Of course.
went back to Team Fortress 2. Been doing some of that.
Classic.
My buddy got a machine that can finally run it.
Favorite
And,
class? Give it to me now.
I'm pretty lame. I like heavy. Heavy
not
and
lame.
I gotta tell you though, I got my first ever spy kill the other night as a spy.
With the knife?
With the knife,
First
yeah.
ever knife kill?
I could never get the disguise to work, and I got it to work last
I
night.
don't understand how. It's not rocket science.
It's not hard.
Okay.
If
Well,
it
I'm
were
glad.
rocket science, I'd be playing as a soldier.
I'm I hope you had a
saying.
because that was good. Not really. What else? Hey. I know all this will be cut out, but no phones. All right.
Nate's not here.
Well, etc. etc. Just let's
I
go.
don't get it. I don't get it.
Maybe
Anyway.
we should probably cut all that out. I think that's going to be pretty obvious.
Aside from Team Fortress 2,
Right.
are you playing anything else? Team Fortress 2. Minecraft.
I also went back to Infamous 2 for a little
Yep.
bit. I want to finish it up. I enjoy it.
I just
think
started
it
it.
has the best movement. Like, it's kind of hard to explain, but it's like the way you move around the city, you have so many options. Funny sound. No, there's so many
stepped on a
options. You can fly, glide, you can go on the rails, you can go on the power lines.
What about the subway tunnel?
Right.
Is that still going, or
Subway?
yeah, is there a subway in the game?
No.
No, not like in the last one where you kept getting abilities from going down there or whatever.
Yeah.
No, that doesn't work that way anymore. I'm not very far
It
into
doesn't
it,
work
but
that way.
no, I just started it. I'm not very far into it, but it's you were the only one laughing at yourself. I don't get it.
It sounded good.
Okay. But,
What are you playing? What are you playing?
Aside from Skyrim, I just finished Batman,
And?
Arkham City. Awesome.
Any spoilers?
I've got tons of them, but I'm not going to give them to you because I know that would
What about the
ruin
one
it
I mentioned to you earlier?
for you. That Batman dies.
Don't.
I'm really
People
sorry. I'm sorry.
Spoiler alert. Future
I
past.
mean, he doesn't really die. He kind of turns into a mush, but he's like still moving because he's kind of a gel state. But that's neither here
Was that
nor
because
there.
he's sliding down a wall?
No, he kind of. You remember Gak from Nickelodeon?
Yeah, you hang it from the rafters and it,
That's
like
essentially-
slowly. You have gack races.
That's essentially what he
So
turns
Gak
into.
Man.
Yes. But I just finished that. It was awesome. Like I said, started Infamous 2. Been playing Orcs Must Die. I like that one
Here's
a
a
lot.
question:
What?
between Infamous 2 and Batman, both open world games, which one do you like better?
I have to say Batman, only because I like the character better
Sure.
because of, I guess part of it's nostalgia.
But would you agree that Infamous has amazing? Like I was saying, just back me up on the movement thing. It feels good.
I'd
It
agree with
feels
that.
good.
It does. And like the climbing feels...
What, like when you slime up? You slime up. You slime up the walls.
It's I don't want to say it feels tighter because that's a very generic term, but it just
No, it does feel tight.
It just seems like he grabs onto.
He started laughing and I couldn't help
I
it.
grinned and
It's,
you couldn't handle yourself.
Yeah, I couldn't do it.
It seems like he just grabs ledges a lot easier now than he did in the first one, and the camera when you're zoomed in like firing, that's a lot closer. That throws me off a little bit. I liked it a little bit further out, but whatever. Finished Batman. Orcs Must Die is really good. Aside from that, I guess that just leaves.
Am I the only one that's played and finished Assassin's Creed Revelations?
You
Yes.
are.
I do want to try it. I just haven't.
I haven't finished Brotherhood yet, though. So what can you elaborate on?
I can't get on these
Revelations a little bit?
conversations because you guys play something totally different than what I do. Assassin's Creed, I mean, it was definitely a lot better than I thought it was going to be. But like a lot of people are saying, I wish more Altair,
Right.
because that
I'll
would have
say
been
that, too.
nice. But they did finish him off really, really good. So I like
And
that.
the tower defense stuff, yay or nay for you?
It kind of sucked. Like
I heard it was easily avoidable though.
Yeah, you can avoid it. All you have to do is just kind of make sure that they don't know who you are. Like if you kill guards in the open, then obviously this thing turns red, and oh hey,
Obviously,
I know exactly
the
who
thing
you
does
are.
turn red.
Yeah. and and then they're like, just take them out on sight, and at that point they attack your holds and all that other kind of stuff. Now that holds is the actual term. I've just got Skyrim on the brain, but yes,
I can see it.
yep.
Rim jobs.
What?
Right?
Jinx.
Super Playbox 64. Super Playbox 64. Super Playbox 64.
That leads us into to Skyrim, which is a lot of people's game of the year. Was my most anticipated.
Your most anticipated gore. Yes.
Only a couple people will get that,
No
right?
one will get that. It's all right.
But that was the game I was looking forward to the most. Droid, you didn't really care about it, right?
And they had to be force fed into me.
Right. And
I was
stuff.
interested enough by it, but I didn't care to pre-order it. I didn't think.
You played Oblivion. It
I
was
played Oblivion
okay.
and I was like, cool, but I wasn't gonna spend $60 on it, and I didn't. I thought I'll try it later.
Okay.
Didn't care.
Okay. And
You were looking forward to it. I know you
I was pumped about it. I bought the collector's edition. I spent the $150 on it. I guess I'll ask you guys, since you guys were
converted.
now, since you guys have been converted now and weren't looking forward to it in the first place, what are your thoughts on it now?
Game of the year.
Easily.
Nothing like it ever.
Yeah.
Well, okay, all right. There are some similar things. Okay.
Okay.
But there is nothing quite like it.
Okay.
Calm down.
Like what? Just
you know.
ramble off a few. I mean, you know what you're saying, so just don't beat around the bush.
I won't. Don't look
Barbara
at me
Bush?
like that though. First, the
Barbara
robot
Bush?
eyes are piercing into my soul.
That's the sound effect.
The play like you want. There are classes, but they're not really classes, and you can. I mean, halfway through the game, I thought I don't really want to do two-handed anymore, so I don't have to. I mean, now my magicka is amazing. I mean,
Yep.
you're not stuck in one class. The missions are insane. Like just the sheer volume of them. I mean,
Trying to hang yourself?
yeah, I don't know what you're doing
What
over
the
there.
fuck was happening? I couldn't find the cord.
But I mean, I've never had anything like the alchemy system be interesting before. Like other games have done similar things, but I've never cared or been interested by it.
Well, yeah, because every different element has four things that it can do for you, even if those four things end up being the exact same thing, but you have to use them multiple times before you unlock those. And I have to agree with you as far as the being able to switch whatever quote-unquote class that you want to be on the fly just by doing it. I love that part. Not having to start over.
Yep.
I did not anticipate kind of what he's saying. The fact that, I'm more of a Bethesda Fallout guy than a Bethesda Elder Scrolls guy. So when they actually had the videos and all that kind of stuff on there, I just always assumed that it was with bows and arrows and swords. I tried the bow and arrow out, and I'm terrible at it. But the fact that the magic kind of gives you a little bit more range, than what I anticipated, it's definitely helped me stay in the game, because my magic is by far the best thing that I have, along with heavy armor, smithing, and speech.
As far as destruction spells, what do you use?
Well, I did not realize until like yesterday that you could get more spells from just reading those books. I was just like, oh, what's this guy do?
Yep.
And sure enough, and now I've got like I went from having 4 spells to having like 30.
It's cool. You can just buy them. And I
Yeah.
was like, you're really just gonna give me these?
Right.
Awesome.
And the only reason I had more than 2 was because of the fact that I found the books, through the main quest or whatever. But
it seems like traditionally that's how you would get them, like by earning them. But you could just go buy them.
Yeah.
Right.
Or just find them on the
Find a
shelf.
mage and be like, yeah, I want this one. I want that one.
But right now, the biggest one that I'm using is the, what the hell do they call it? It's like the lightning bolt, I guess.
Sparks?
No, it's
Okay.
not sparks. There's the lightning bolt,
Yeah.
and then there's the one
Lightning-
where it just shoots like a straight stream, and then there's one where you can actually charge and throw almost like a ball.
Right.
That goes from one individual to the next.
Oh, really?
with other enemies.
Sparks is the stream.
Yep.
Lightning bolt is just where you charge it up for a second, then you
One
throw it
shot.
like Bioshock.
Right.
Bioshocky.
Yep.
And then the last one, I don't know what it's called because I haven't got it yet, but I just bought the lightning bolt like you. I got firebolt or whatever, and then I got the ice spike, which is really neat because
Yep, I just got
it
one. That one too. Yeah.
sticks in their body,
Yeah.
for a couple seconds.
I also one of the reasons I was so into it was because, especially in the first person view, first of all, it looks like Bioshock. Like when you see the hands and you've got the flames and the ice. I'm a huge Bioshock fan, so that drew me immediately. I thought
Yeah.
it already feels familiar. They get it right. it works so well. You can combine. It makes me wish BioShock had done. Pick. You want the plasmid in the left hand. You want it in the right hand. Do you want it in both?
Yeah.
I mean.
Yep.
The hands even kind of curl around whatever you're doing the same way too.
Yeah, very, very cool.
I agree. And then like now, I don't know if are you using the second tier, like the what do they call them? Doesn't matter. Like with the lightning bolt, when you use it in both hands now, he's got this ball. He like moves his hands around.
I forgot what you call it.
It's so awesome.
It made me wish BioShock had that. It was a little more depth. And I thought, like, BioShock, there's so much depth in the fighting. And, like, you can choose how you want to attack, and you can wrench, and you can weapon, you can plasmid, you can do any combination, whatever. And now it seems like shallow and like one-sided compared to Elder Scrolls.
Yeah, I kept saying, I said it the last couple of days, a couple of times, Skyrim has kind of ruined everything else for me because I don't want to play anything else.
Yep, same way.
I had to force myself to go back to Batman, and part of the reason I finished Batman is because I was deathly sick and couldn't leave the couch or the bed anyway. So I finished Batman, and I'm glad I did, but I don't.
It's a good sell on that.
I don't want to
play if you're horribly ill, play Batman.
Well, I mean, it's just Skyrim's so good, and I mean, I didn't want to sit in my computer chair playing it, but. I lost my train of thought, so fuck it. What were you going to say? You looked...
Most of what's kind of keeping me interested in the whole thing is that, again, going back to the Fallout, they've got a lot of advancements that came from the, type of Fallout gameplay that I'm used to. You guys know I've put 400 and 600 hours into each one of the games, but definitely the map is a lot bigger than your typical Fallout one, and at the same time, it's not just one giant square that you have to go and look in. You have to go through the mountains, you got to go through the caves to get to certain spots, so I kind of like how they have the maps. Yeah, it does suck.
And another thing about
trying to get around the
about
mountains.
Skyrim, I've put about 30 odd hours.
Yeah.
Still, people say, "Did you find this?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?
Yeah.
I haven't seen that. I haven't heard of that." You were telling me about the dwarven.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, the Dwemer stuff. I'm doing my first mission in there right now.
I haven't seen any of that, and it sounds incredible.
The what do they call them? The autonomats or whatever.
Automatons.
That's what it is.
You want to go to your luau?
They're all the same.
Go to the luau.
It's all the same.
You get laid.
Yeah. But what I was telling him, and this isn't really a spoiler, it's just one more place to find.
Is that like a necklace with flowers on it? Lay. Continue.
No, by all means. Can you hear me? Am I good?
Yeah,
okay.
Good. You've been good.
But the thing that I kind of, really enjoyed that I was telling him earlier is that I was doing just regular, mission stuff. I went to this place, but they kept trying to send me to this place called Blackreach or something like that, and I couldn't find it on the map. I'm thinking, okay, I've got 160 plus places. Why isn't it showing up? Well, I had to go through this one dwarven facility, and underneath was this huge carved out part of the ground. I mean, it's just this giant cave with glowing fungus trees.
Now, have I missed it, or are there no dwarves?
No, they're extinct.
Okay,
or
they're extinct.
According to them, they are extinct.
Right. They're just their technology is still left over. They're Dwemer.
Right.
Dwemer, yeah.
Now I've been in one of the old with all the stuff left over and all the gears and whatnot. I've seen all that, but I've not seen any of the robots except for the spider.
A little spider guys, the little spheres or
You
whatever.
got the spheres.
Right, I've seen all that, but I haven't seen any of the big walkers from the trailer or anything.
I
like
can't
that.
remember what their names are, to be honest.
Probably
but
Optimus.
I've run into 3 or 4 of them. They're not that
Megatron.
bad. They're very slow. The only thing you have to watch out for is their, I don't know, they have a poison breath or something that they shoot
it's
out
like
at
a
you.
steam.
Yeah.
This is all steampunky when you go in there. It's real steampunk.
Like I was saying though, underneath the actual map of Skyrim is a whole nother level of exploring, because they've carved out this entire landscape underneath Skyrim that leads to every dwarven hold that they ever had.
Wow.
So it connects all of the dwarven ones. So if you're one on the west side of the map, underneath you can go completely a straight line straight there, and all it's inhabited by is spiders, skeevers, and what are those things called that are blind?
The Falmer.
Falmer, yeah. That's pretty much all that's down there. And the big monstrous looking mechs, as I'll call them, those guys have a little switch that you have to activate, so you'll see them, but they won't attack you. You have to actually turn them on.
So you can't just destroy them while they're off?
No, you can't destroy them when they're turned
Why?
off. Yeah, I don't know. It's just that's not how it works.
Just to keep it from being too easy, I guess.
Yeah.
See, that just blows my mind because I did not know that at all.
Yep.
I'm in that first Dwemer. I'm in this Dwemer place. I think I'm doing something for the College of Winterhold, and I'm going through this first Dwemer place, and I had no idea that they had all that. And see, that's the thing is, I've played it for about 35 hours. Pink Stuff, you played it for about 35. Are you sitting right around there?
My last count was 42.
Okay. And hardly any of the stuff that we've done is the same thing.
No.
So if you spent 400 to 600 hours on Fallout, I'm anxious to see what you could
What do you end up with? Yeah.
end up spending in this
Yeah.
with expansions, because you both heard the hacks or whatever, so that you get through like a mountain or something like that.
So
you can
Cyrodiil.
actually see Cyrodiil and like landscapes and just like a crude setup of buildings and things like that. I'm assuming that they're going to do expansions. And
I'm interested to see if they will. I mean, do you think they'll add more like area to
why
explore?
why putting that in the game if you're not going to put anything there? Now, like some
Maybe
people have
it's for
said,
their own
well, just so
reference,
you
I
can
don't
see it,
Yeah.
but you can't see it. You can't really see it. I don't know.
Maybe it was
Well,
easier
look-
just to import all of it. I mean, just put it there.
Well, look
at-
Shit,
maybe.
I don't know.
Look at Bethesda's past couple of years history, all the different expansions that they've had out now, especially with games like this. When Oblivion came out, they had what, 2,
Yeah, 2. They had Knights in the Nine and then
Shivering
the
Isles.
Shivering Isles.
and now they've got Fallouts, which have had 5 apiece.
Yep. And Shivering Isles,
No, but those are bigger expansions though, like for the Oblivion.
right.
Those are
But
pretty-
like
pretty
Knights of the
hefty.
Nine and Shivering Isles, it kind of sucked because all it was a cave.
Yeah.
So all you didn't have to put anything in there except for a little spot to go, to walk up and hit A
And that
or
could
hit
load
E
from
or
anywhere,
whatever.
yeah, that
and it
could
could
be-
load from you
yeah,
could load
that
it
could
from
be
anywhere
anywhere
at
in
that one.
space.
So I'm excited I want to see them just add on to that world.
I
That
think
would be awesome.
I think what they'll do, because what they've done in the past, in Fallout 3 and New Vegas, they take it to new areas, whether it be Point Lookout, or they'll take you to Nevada, or they'll take you to Utah and stuff like that. I'm wondering if maybe they won't take you back to Morrowind at one
Do you think
point.
they'll take you down to the Paradise City
Why not?
where the grass is green?
And the girls are pretty.
I hope so. Argonians? God damn it. Look like they got teeth on their forehead. I just can't get
Some of that Hargrave action.
Yep.
Super Playbox 64. Super Playbox 64.
Let's do 2 things. First of all, what's your favorite thing? If you had to pick one thing, Anne, what is your favorite thing about Skyrim?
The dynamics of the economy.
Okay.
That'd be one. The fact that I'm able to smith and make all these different kinds of armors, that's going to take me a while to make these. I have to use the skills first before I can make advanced stuff. I mean, they really make that feel, they really make that feel
choice.
more realistic.
Yeah.
Obviously, I can craft, leather armor way before I can craft, dragon bone armor and stuff like that.
Right.
And then, of course, I do like the actual dynamics of the trading system and all that. How each individual vendor might not necessarily take all your stuff. In the
Or have
Fallouts,
enough gold.
yeah, in the Fallouts, they've always had the same thing. You could get whatever they have, and you can trade whatever you have. But in this one, they have the specific shop vendors that have specific stuff. Now the trader, the overall traders that do have everything, they usually have poopy stuff. But the guys who specialize in weapons and armor, the guys who do specialize in potions, they're the ones who've got the good stuff, and you can buy a lot of it.
Right.
And the biggest thing, and I don't know how people play them, but in Fallout, if you basically wiped one of the vendors out money wise, if you basically traded everything he can buy, you had to wait like a week for him to have money again. In Skyrim, I could travel from each hold and just go in a circle, and every time I go to a vendor, they always have at least 700 on them.
Yeah.
So that's kind of nice. It allows me to get rid of my loot quicker.
Yep. Okay. I'm going to interject. And I would say that I think my favorite thing about Skyrim, I hope I'm not stealing one from you, but
And
is-
dragons.
Yes, the dragons in my level 17 mage. Is like I already said, the fact that we can spend so many hours playing it and not have a similar situation. Random things pop up, like a guy runs up to me and says, "Here, hold on to this for me." And I know that you, Droid, have come across this as well, but Pink Stuff, you haven't come across
Now,
this.
how did that resolve itself with you?
It hasn't yet.
It's funny because mine was instantly resolved.
Really?
Hunter came up and killed him.
Yeah.
Well, see, he was being chased.
Yeah,
he
yeah,
runs
yeah.
up to me. He goes, "Here, hold on to this for me." It's like a axe of scorching or whatever. And I'm, he's like, "Make sure you have it on you because I'm gonna come back looking for it." And he just takes off. And it's the random shit like that, or like, just walking down a pathway and like you look over to the right and you see like ice wraiths going through the snow and like just attacking random people. And I love that shit because you don't see that in any other game. No other game does that.
Or the bears attacking the wolves or elk or
Yeah,
something like that.
Or, a bear attacking a fucking dragon for whatever reason.
That happened to me as well.
Yeah.
Actually, during when the guy ran up to me and said, "Hold this," a bear is fighting a dragon. And then in the middle of that, the dragon's pissed off that I'm there. This bear's fighting it. I'm getting breathed on with fire, and all of a sudden the game slows down. I'm like, what's going on? This guy comes up and he's like, hang on to this for a minute. And I'm like, dude, you see the dragon? He died. I died.
Pause everything.
During the conversation, we both died and had to reload. And then he found me later in the game, and then he died again.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. It's the random shit that I love. Because I can go to work and talk to the other people about it like it happened to me in real life. And I get looked at like I'm a fucking retard, but love it. I love it. What about you, Stuff?
I really would just echo things that both of you said.
Are you trying to tell me you don't have an original thoughts?
The experiences I had are like...
Did you hear that on a podcast?
So, yeah. The experiences I had were so unlike anything I've ever had that, like, I don't know. I came over the hill and...
Your first time.
I came over the hill, this one hill, and there was like a giant fighting some dudes. And I was like, what's going on? And looted the bodies. And then I watched a beautiful sunrise.
That's exactly how it happened.
It is. So, I don't know. I you know what? I tell you what my other favorite thing is, other than the sunrises.
I told you one, but go ahead.
No. The soundtrack is gorgeous.
Did you order it?
I haven't yet. I'm going to. I want to.
Yes, I did.
Cool. I'm hoping that my fiance did.
The soundtrack is one of the best soundtracks ever of all time.
Yep. And it's so subtly done. Most of the game you don't even pay it. You're not really even hearing it, but it's there.
It's
still.
It's very, very ambient. But I would listen to it probably all day, every day.
And that was the kind of thing that also kind of held me back again too. Was when I was thinking about it, and again, Fallout. You could listen to the radio. You could listen to whatever station. You listen to the same songs over and over again. But there's so much of it going on in Elder Scrolls, and it changes on a whim. From fighting a bear to fighting a dragon, and finally being in a place of peace, like in one of the holds, Whiterun.
Yep.
It's sometimes it's very calming, and then when you're fighting the dragons and you start hearing all that, it really gets you pumped up.
And you know what? Every time I level up, and you pull up the level up menu, it goes and you like see the clouds and the stars, and you're just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna pick a perk. Let's do this.
Yep.
It's awesome.
Yes, it is. Very awesome.
And the one other moment that really just made me feel unlike any other game, the first shout you get when you fight that Draugr. He comes out of the it's in the barrow, Bleak Falls Barrow.
Yeah.
You learn the shout, and the Draugr like comes out of his little tomb, and he's all like badass looking, and you're like, oh, how am I gonna handle this? And it's just like the music's playing, and it's like the chanting and the lighting and just everything about it was perfect.
Yeah, and
I felt like such a barbaric, badass, brutal.
Because if you don't go up to the wall and learn that, get that word first, you hear that chanting from the wall, but then you also hear the music and
dude, so.
And I'll tell you what, I was listening to another podcast last week, and they were talking about Skyrim, and just about every podcast I've been listening to has been talking about Skyrim, of course, but they were talking about there was one guy that was getting ready to start it, and they said they were jealous of him because he gets to experience all this stuff for the first time, and really, like, it doesn't depress me realistically, but it's kind of bums me out that like I can never experience this stuff for the first time again.
Will it feel
even if I started a new game, it would probably still be just as
routine.
Awesome.
It will be you've done it before.
But yeah, I've already done it, and I can't experience this. Now there's a lot of stuff that I could experience again, or experience for the first time if I just took different paths. But
no, I know.
It sucks because it's
some of the basics of the game are that cool,
yeah,
are that good.
Great.
Yep.
And I want them to just make another one next year.
Let's hope the DLC is fantastic.
I'm sure it will be. It's
if they, the only, all right, let me see if
expansions have been awesome.
Let me see if you guys agree with this. What could they add to make it better?
I mean, you don't have to change anything.
No.
Just
What?
give me more shit.
Okay, you want more content.
Give me more areas.
What could
Give
they
me
add
more
to make
areas.
you Android? What would you make you happy?
I like that question now. I like that a lot.
Because I have an answer to that. 'Cause I'm sure a lot of people.
Honestly, I mean, there was at one point in the game where you kind of need a mode of transportation that's not available through certain, through what you have available to what Nords have available. So I personally would like to see if maybe they had something to where you could actually change the physical person himself. Maybe, fashion some dragon wings or something like that.
That'd be kind of neat. Or maybe like taming, because there's a mod on PC you could tame animals, and like you had made the joke last week or the week before. Remember he had you going, and he's like, "Did you know that you could ride a saber tooth?"
Yeah.
I approached him the other day and I said, "Did you in fact know that you can do that now
That'd be
because
awesome.
of a mod?" So I agree. I think that would be
Like you can use a shout or a spell. And
Yeah.
They would have
put a
to
saddle on it.
They'd have to do a really good job at it. I mean, because you can make it look pretty crappy. I mean, obviously he wasn't originally designed to fly or anything like that, and it probably won't happen. But
Well, I'm thinking of Assassin's Creed where he has like the little glidey
right.
thing.
And
that would work.
And at one point in the main campaign, you need to do something. You have to capture someone, and you have to use a mode of transportation that to them is unthinkable and not possible and all that. And it has to deal with flying. So for me, I would really like to see something like that happen.
Cool.
To where and it would obviously make exploring a lot easier, because sometimes I'm just getting so pissed off, like, how the hell do I get up there? It makes no damn sense.
Yep.
Some mountains are crazy.
Because there's no. I mean, looking at the map, we've talked about it before. Off the podcast, there's no path on the map to show you where to go. There's no line drawn out in fucking sand to let you know to go here or whatever. So yeah, I'd have to agree, because what you end up doing is you go halfway up the mountain until it's too steep, and you fucking jump and walk around the entire thing until you find a ledge that you can walk
But there's
up.
usually a path, so like, but you always make it hard on yourself.
Yep.
Exactly.
And obviously, you don't have to really say this. I'm sure a lot of people that would listen to this that play, Elder Scrolls right now, they got to fix some of the glitches. I'm tired of carrying 5 Hargrave heads, in my satchel, and I'm carrying all this stuff now. I've devoted 35 pounds just to things that I can't get rid of.
Yeah.
And it's starting to really irritate me a little bit.
And I would like to see,
because they had a.
like to see.
They had a patch today, didn't they? They had some kind of patch that
There
I
was one
downloaded today.
recently.
Is there?
No, I'll tell you what. For me, the only thing that could really improve it greatly, I think it's pretty obvious, multiplayer.
Yeah. Okay.
Even if it's just like Borderlands drop in, we can quest together, or if they wanted to go the route of here's an expansion pack with co-op centric missions that are specifically designed for 2 players, that would be great. It doesn't matter.
I could go with that.
I just want to be able to, I mean, like, to the very basic, like, I just want to be able to trade items with people.
I was going to say, I could see that. For me, I don't need multiplayer in this game, because I love it that much, just single player.
I'm not saying I need
and
it.
I think some of the stuff would take away with multiplayer.
Yeah. Well, but I'm saying, like, maybe for DLC or something, I think multiplayer is almost necessary.
Okay.
See, I'm not part of the multiplayer crowd. I'd rather see co-op.
Yeah. Well, that's what he means.
Well, that's what I mean. I don't want to.
Yeah.
I don't want PvP.
Oh,
I
okay.
think we're in a day. We're in an age where multiplayer, it just means completely different things to certain people. But yeah, co-op.
Co-op is what I meant. It's, that really is what I meant.
I just I still haven't even come across. I bet you there's half the map that I haven't come across, and again, I'm 35 hours into it. I just know that eventually I'm gonna start running out of places that I've seen, and I'm gonna be like, man, I just want to keep playing this game, and I don't see it getting old, and I'm hoping that the expansions, I'm hoping they can bring more, I don't need anything else. I don't need extra weapons. I don't need more kinds of armor. I just want that. And to be honest, the armor stuff doesn't bother me, because I play in first person most of the time anyway. I very rarely switch to third person, so I don't care what the armor looks like,
Sure.
For the most part. Some of the stuff's kind of cool to look at, but
It's cool that it just changed, though. I heard, like, in the new Lord of the Rings, if you change in the War in the North, I heard that if you change armor, it doesn't visibly change.
Really?
I heard that. I don't know if that's true.
That's like an old school.
Yeah, I know. So
not even old school.
So
I mean, even Baldur's Gate switched.
Yeah, so I don't want to take it for granted.
Yeah.
Because then if it's not there, we'd be upset.
See, I can't find anything on what the patch was that Xbox got today. They're mostly, I guess it looks like they're mostly focused on PS3 users.
Huh. Well, I know PS3 had the big issue with over time, your save file would get too big, and then you
Slows
couldn't
down.
fucking do anything, and you
My
have
buddy,
to shut it off every 30
My
minutes or
buddy's
something.
game, Farkas is still following him around. He can't fast travel because Farkas is around him, I guess, because he has I don't know what the term is, but something in the game. Since Farkas is with him, he can't fast travel, and he won't leave him alone.
Fucking kill him.
That's what I said. He did before, but then he reloaded because he didn't want to kill him.
I was going to ask you this too. Is he having Farkas carry stuff for him?
Farkas?
Yeah. Is he having him carry stuff
I don't
for him?
know. I didn't ask.
Because if he's overloaded carrying stuff for him, that's why he can't fast travel
Could
too.
be that.
Because
Could be
I
that.
haven't heard of it
I
other
don't know
than
who
what you're
Farkas
saying.
is.
Yeah. He's a Brotherhood, or not the Brotherhood, the Companions.
He's the dude that sounds like he's Swedish.
Oh, really?
No,
Yeah.
he's the one that sounds like.
Oh,
Like
who am I
this.
thinking of? Oh no, I'm thinking of the other one that's like.
You're thinking of Yorlin Greymane.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not good with all these names. Who gives? Yeah, I don't know. Moving on.
Okay, we're back. Are we back?
We're back.
We're back. Awesome.
From the
That's that song that you just heard was the musical version of their of me and Pink Stuff's first foray into a what would you call it?
It's erotic dance, cabaret,
None of these
blues, jazz fusion, merengue, pop.
Okay, no one told me that this was going to be used for advertising purposes. I'm done.
Porpoises?
It's not so, I just figured since we took a break there, we would just throw that music in there, and then we'll probably cut this out. Maybe.
Starting now.
I don't like any of this.
Okay.
It stinks to high heaven.
While we were taking our break, smoke, pee, drinking, other obscenities, we were talking about something very near and dear to Android's heart, and that's RTS games.
That stands for
and,
real-time strategy, in case you didn't know.
Oh, thank you.
Well, just some people might not know.
That's true.
RTS.
That's RTS.
Age of Empires, Command and Conquer,
Right.
things like that.
Right?
Sins of a Solar Empire, Empire at War, Star
Halo
Wars,
in case
Halo
you
Wars.
hadn't owned anything except for an Xbox 360. We had this discussion the other day, and
Dune.
Dune, yes. But anyway, we were having this discussion the other day, and we were talking about other franchises that would work well in an RTS setting. Obviously, Halo took the jump, went from the Halo environment into Halo Wars, worked very well on the console. Controls worked really well. Story, I didn't finish Halo Wars, but however, the story didn't grasp me as much.
It's
as
hard
Halo.
to get a good story into a real-time strategy.
Do you
it's
think
tough.
it's the point of view?
Well, it's because you're not. There's not an intimate. There's no. I mean, there can be characters, but it's how do you identify with your character? How do you build the character?
Well, think of war like in the old school days with like Warcraft. I mean, you got a hero that you use.
Sure, but still,
Or StarCraft.
but still,
StarCraft. Very
that
good,
sort of
very
story
good.
will not compare to, say, Uncharted or Batman.
Okay,
You know what I mean?
I get you.
I'm not saying that the games aren't good because of that. It's just it's got to be tough to get a
I
story like
got you.
that
No, I
into
agree.
there.
I do not.
Okay.
The biggest thing with me is that with RTSs, like with the Halo Wars, obviously it's a lot harder for Command and Conquers because a lot of times Command and Conquer, like Red Alert 3, it's unrealistic. Bears hunting down people controlled by the Soviets. That's crap. Especially when you have people like Tim Curry and Jenna Jameson, on the actual plot. But in Halo Wars, the thing that I liked about it is that it wasn't about Master Chief. It wasn't about the individual. It was more about the organization, the UNSC, and the overall Covenant feel. So, yeah.
Okay. With that being said, let's get some ideas and let's just get opinions. Obviously, these are never going to come to fruition for the most part. But what are some of the franchises that you would like to see take that leap?
Well, as far as future prospects, I mean, obviously, I would love for them to, again, remake some more or make sequels to, just going down the list. Sins of Solar Empires coming out with a new one that's not a big one. I would also like to see a new Empires at War. But games I think would be really good RTSs are those ones that have an organizational function. The reason it worked with Halo is because you had your Covenant forces, you had two opposing forces entirely. But now that you put me on the spot, I have no idea.
We had a bunch of good ideas the other day.
I know we did. We had a bunch of really good ones. But I had a giant wall of games to look at, too. I'm like, oh, yeah, that'd be awesome.
Stuff. Did you have anything off the top of your head?
Yeah, there's a few I think that would work quite well as real-time strategies. You guys mentioned Mass Effect, which I think would be cool.
Yep.
I think the cool thing that would work for Mass Effect is that you have the different races and such, but they can be different races, but still have different allegiances within the race. So you could have, the Solarians and the humans and the Krogans and whatnot can be one side. So like some of those unit types or whatnot, as they would transfer over, would still make that work really well. I think that's really, really, really cool. I think there's a lot of potential for that. And the other one that was mentioned that I still haven't forgot about was Resistance. I think Resistance would be fantastic as a real-time strategy.
I agree.
Very, very, very cool.
The reason a Mass Effect could work, in my mind, is going back to what you say about actual story. We know about the war, in Mass Effect with the Turians and, Earth and those First Contact wars. That would be an excellent way to start off the game. Exactly what Halo Wars did. It was 20 or 30 years before Master Chief was ever thought of or what have you, and the Spartans were all over the place. But in Mass Effect, you could come at an angle like... Actually, I would think that it would more closely resemble, something like StarCraft in the area, because you could have your aliens, you could have your human forces, and I think they could even, if they planned it right, throw in the Rachni.
Okay, I could see that.
So, you have kind of a correlation between aliens, humans, and Zerg, but in a Mass Effect setting. That'd be kind of cool to see. I think I had mentioned Gears at one point. I'd like to see Gears.
Yeah, Gears could definitely work. The only thing, I guess with Gears, you have two main factions that that are butting heads.
I don't think that they could do Gears of War like Halo did, where it was 20 or 30 years before everything. Obviously, it's got to be against the Locust, and we didn't know about them until one particular day. It's not like, hey, what's going on, guys? Now we're at war.
Yep.
It was like right there, we're at war. I didn't know you before anything. I just know you're trying to kill me.
Yep.
So that's one reason why I think Resistance works so well, is because the war lasts for so long in the story, and there's so many, like the entire world is involved and all the different units, and it would be cool and whatnot.
And a cool way that they could jump into that is because if I remember Resistance 1 correctly, as far as the story that I did see, it was during World War II.
It starts right after World War II.
Right after World War II.
So, things are still messed up from World War II.
So, like, it could start with, like, something going on, a military operation where this is the first contact we've had with the Chimera,
right.
Or something like that, and kind of shoot off from that.
Yeah, it could easily tell the story through a different
and end with the hero, Joseph Capelli, doing the last mission or whatever, a lot like what they do with Jim Raynor in StarCraft or what have you.
Yeah. Yep.
So you think Joseph Capelli's the hero of Resistance?
No, I don't know. I'm just saying.
Well, you haven't finished them, have you?
No, I haven't finished any of them. Like that. I know he's the main character in the first one, right?
No,
he's not the main character.
No,
or no,
the main character
that's three.
Of the first two is Nathan Hale.
Nathan Hale.
I
thank you.
prefer Hale. I don't really understand Capelli. His motivation's like, I guess I could go. I guess I could do it.
He's a burnout of Resistance.
His wife's like, you better go, and he's like, I guess I'll go. I think the story of Resistance 3 was so weak.
But you said the gunplay.
The gunplay, there is nothing better. I can't tell you a game. I can't tell you a game that has better guns, just to begin with, or the way they work, the way they feel. There is nothing like it. They're the most satisfying and fun to play with guns in any game. So I recommend Resistance 3 highly, but don't expect a good story because there isn't one. Might as well not be a story.
I gotcha. So
sad.
So we've got Resistance, we've got Mass Effect, we mentioned Gears of War. Any other titles that come to
Killzone?
Killzone would be fantastic. Yeah, that would also be really, really, really good.
And really, what we're seeing is the trend of all this stuff is futuristic. Is there anything that's set in like a present day or that's set in the past I mean, obviously.
Yeah, but then you get like it seems like all the units would be like, oh, I bet there'll be a tank, I bet there'll be an infantry unit, I bet there'll be a sniper. You know what I'm saying?
With a futuristic kind or even alien, situation, you can always create stuff. It gives you more room to be artistic.
Well, you can create stuff. I mean, look at Resistance. I mean, Resistance. That stuff didn't happen after World War II in real life.
What?
They just created that. So.
Yes, it did. I'm pretty sure that
it did.
I'm pretty sure that happened.
It happened.
Oh,
It's factual.
that's not true.
But anyway, continue with your point, even though you're wrong.
But no, what I was gonna say is, I mean, games just make shit up all the time anyway. So I mean, you could make it up as you wanted, regardless. It doesn't have to be factual.
So you're like,
I mean, a sniper could look like a sniper, but I mean, it could be a sniper rifle that fucking fires watermelons. Who fucking cares? It just, it doesn't have to be. You can make up whatever you want. It's a video game.
The new game from the creators of Angry Birds.
What I'm asking is, could you do something like a Battlefield or Call of Duty, or is that simply just Command and Conquer?
Watermelon Battlefield.
it's definitely not Command and Conquer nowadays, because I don't know.
Command and Conquer's terrible now.
I don't know if you guys have played any of the Command and Conquers recently, but like even Generals, had some really weird, of course the terrorist, unit had like this giant tank that spat out toxins, like go figure, kind of a stereotype.
Tacos.
Well,
for all
that would be
consume.
fantastic. Put them back. But no, I could see it, but it wouldn't drive. I mean, I'd probably play it just because I'm an RTS fan, but would it keep me going? No, probably not. Because again, Call of Duty, I really don't think that they have interesting stories, and that's just a personal opinion. But I don't think that they have stories warranting enough to give me something. Because if you're gonna transform a game into an RTS that's already done well as a first-person shooter or anything like that, it's got to have a good story that you can expand on. Yeah,
everything.
Background, the different kinds of tech trees, what happened to whom and stuff like that.
So is it safe to say that the RTS genre does its best in a future setting?
I would say yes.
Well, yeah, and more of a fantastical setting, because you got to have units that work differently from each other, and they can't all.
But that's my point. You can do that with anything.
Not necessarily.
You can do that in present day.
It doesn't necessarily have to be futuristic either.
Well, I guess
Warcraft was all.
I think what my problem is that if we go by what you're saying and do a present day one, they're all going to be the same.
Why though? Why they don't have to be?
It just seems like I'm just saying that to me it seems like they would be. Now I'm sure you could prove me wrong. I'm sure you could.
Let's put it this way: in the Command and Conquer in Red Alert 2, Red Alert 3, the last one that came out, it's technically supposed to be current day, but because Tim Curry went back in time as a Soviet and changed stuff, essentially now you have Japanese mechs. And you have Soviet bears running around, killing people because they're controlled with giant red, sickle and picks on them or whatever. And then you also have Jenna Jameson running around with a bunch of dogs. I mean,
I'm okay with that.
It's one of those things where they have the hover carts, they have the ships or the constructions, buildings that can be out on the water now and all that. It's all cool, but even in a modern day setting, it's not really realistic.
Now, this brings me to another point that I was making the other day.
That's not true.
What if you go the other way? Now, this is sort of on this, but Starhawk. Mm-hmm. Starhawk, because you have a lot of the same elements, but in a third-person action. But you can bring down the units. You can bring down. It's like a. You control every aspect of it.
Third-person RTS.
But not really though, because it's not RTS isn't the focus. But like say I'm in the beta.
I tried to play a game the other day as well. Go ahead, continue.
Well, no, like it starts out and there's nothing. It's just like in the real-time strategy, you start from nothing. You got to collect your whatever the energy is. Yeah. You can build your units. You can build walls. You can defend your flag with walls. You can build turrets, and it's easy to see that map and go, well, you could play the game from either way. Like I can see that easily translating to real-time strategy. I can see where that has really been influenced by I think a little bit almost like tabletop gaming in some ways, and real-time strategy.
I see what you're saying there, and you say that it's not a focus, but I think I would disagree in the sense that I think it's a necessity in that game. I only played one game, but I don't think you would be able to Now, in a team deathmatch setting, obviously you could probably do whatever you wanted. You wouldn't have to build any buildings. You don't have to bring any EMX down or anything like that. But in something like a capture the flag or like a domination type, where you're
Zones. I think
points,
zones is what it is in Starhawk.
I think that is a necessity. So I would disagree. I think it's a big focus. Otherwise, they wouldn't have added to it. I think it's a necessity.
Well, I think the point I was trying to make with you the other day was, I didn't think it was important until
you started doing it. Maybe.
Until I really took a look at it and sort of took it all in.
I got you.
And then I was like, this is a very big part of the game.
I'm terrible at it. I only played one match.
I got better. Well, it does take time.
So you're saying that certain games that are like a third person over the shoulder shooter that turn into more of an RTS element.
Sure. Enemy Territory did the same thing.
Well, and Gears of War 3 did the same thing with Horde now. Where you have those command posts and all that kind of stuff. Assassin's Creed with the den defense.
Dungeon Defender. I mean, that's more more tower defense, but it's a smaller scale, but it's kind of the same idea.
But tower defense and I think real-time strategy kind of share that same.
Yeah, it's very similar. It's just a smaller scale.
But it's very much smaller.
Tower defense is I would say tower defense is more of what they're adding into Starhawk than anything else, because in an RTS, you're the overall controller of the entire situation.
Well, all I'm saying is it's a very small leap from you controlling all the vehicles to you tell them where to go. I mean, all I'm saying is, if they went in and made a mode where you just told the units what to do, it would work with Starhawk. That's all the point I was trying to make.
Yeah, that would work.
It would certainly work with that game.
Okay. Yeah.
But again, I think the story would probably be crap until we actually see what the Starhawk story is going to be.
Yeah, we don't really know. I don't really know a whole lot about it.
Talking about Starhawk, do you think Red Faction would work as a RTS?
If they hadn't ruined it.
Yeah.
With Armageddon?
Yeah. The sales were terrible.
Yeah. Absolutely terrible.
But I mean, that universe on the Mars.
Well, no, I thought the game was bad.
They could do it in between Red Faction Guerrilla and Red Faction Armageddon.
But you know that my thoughts on Red Faction are that it belongs as a first-person, fast-paced, Unreal Tournament style, crazy weapons, explodable, destructible environments, crazy weapons, fast-paced gameplay, power-ups, old-school type gameplay. Yeah, I love it so much.
Nexius.
Whatever. Next Wii's?
Well, that's what it's.
That's the Wii U, you mean?
Yeah.
I see.
Whatever. It's all the same.
Sorry.
Did you see? And this could be cut out, but did you see that the guys at OXM? There was an interview with a CNET reporter, and they were interviewing one of the people that are working on the Xbox, and it's coming out fall 2013.
Great.
So start saving.
Word on the street. It is.
Yeah, it's all speculation, but I think I was already guessing fall of 2013 anyway. There's no way they're going to bring it out next year with the fact that they steamrolled everybody. That they sold like $1 billion.
Yeah, over this holiday.
Yeah.
2011 holiday, if you didn't know when we were recording this.
Ridiculous.
Another one more thing that I'd like to add to as another good RTS, and this is only because of this game coming out and having such success, is the Transformer Cybertron setup.
Yeah, yep, for sure. That to me lends itself perfectly.
Yep.
That would be a real good one, and that's only because of Cybertron, not the movies.
Yep.
Movies were getting worse.
Yeah.
But Cybertron seems to be getting better.
Yeah. Sam. That's a good call. I think Transformers would work really well because and then some of those, your buildings are people. That's awesome.
That could be a cool gameplay.
Like you pretty much just build the units themselves, and then certain units can take whatever shape that they're set to be. They could be defensive shapes. They could be.
No, it'd be cool though. Like you could have like a defensive guy that could also like run around and do stuff for you. Like he could move.
And you have to harvest cubes.
That'd be
awesome. That's a good call. I like that. Could they do a Mario?
I personally, anybody who listens to this, by all means, send an email or write a comment on that, because that's the biggest focus that I like. Is the RTSs are all over. With me, that's all that I got. I love them. I've been playing that long before I've been playing anything else. First person, third person, whatever.
Super Playbox 64. Super Playbox 64.
We're gonna finish it up with a segment we like to call
For Future Reference.
God, that's gay. Okay, first off, pink stuff.
Do we want to explain what For Future Reference is?
I'm sorry.
Please.
For Future Reference is going to be, it's going to be anything that, if you experience something and it's either great or it's terrible and you want other people to know, for future reference, That's what this does.
So
This
say,
tells-
like, for example, like if you were abducted by aliens and you loved it,
for future reference, sleep.
try and get abducted by aliens.
Try,
Just,
yeah,
you
for
know.
future reference, try to get, or I guess on a more realistic note, if you like pulp in your orange juice, for future reference, leave pulp in your orange juice. Get it?
No.
I don't know how to spell it out anymore.
For future reference is essentially what you know, like, for the first one that we're talking
I
about.
think we've explained it enough. I think we've certainly explained it enough. They'll understand. Go ahead. Do yours.
For the first one that we're
Android.
talking about, you know, we saw the VGA trailers, and Metal Gear Solid Rising looks absolutely terrible.
Hey,
So,
that's mine.
well, there you go. Say it.
Do yours.
Well, there you go. Fuck you. I'm out of here.
Whoa now.
I had too much to drink
You
tonight.
had nothing.
I had a Sprite.
You're damn drunk.
All right. So, Android, for future reference, go.
For future reference, when you're going to make a game like Elder Scrolls and include horses and all these different ways to travel, also include them. Did you get that in the mic?
There you go.
Did you get that in the mic?
Nope.
Doesn't
Okay.
matter. You know what? You were doing that so well.
I'm not.
Do you want
being
to start
very,
over again?
Yeah,
Start it over.
I'm not
Start
being
it
very
over.
articulate right now.
Okay. So,
Farticulate. Ow! Go on.
Kaboom!
Android.
For future reference, when you make a game like Elder Scrolls Bethesda and you include horses and other ways to travel, such as caravans and stuff like that, maybe think about maybe adding some vehicles into your next Fallout title, because that would be wonderful. I've seen mods where they're done, so surely they can make them as well.
So for future reference, give me more shit.
Exactly.
Add on.
Exactly.
Right on the Pokemon?
No.
Okay.
Mine is I've recently played a game called Bulletstorm, and I didn't play it for the longest time because the demo sucked and I didn't understand what skill points were. So for future reference, let me know and give me an idea of what certain things that happen in the demo have to do with the game as a whole. You know, as far as I'm making.
I think what you're saying is that Bulletstorm's demo was a poor representation of what the game is actually like.
Poor representation, and you don't understand what the skill points do in context of the game. And when you play the actual game, it explains exactly what the skill points are used for, and it makes a lot more sense, and it seems less arcadey. And for future reference, make your demo closer to the actual game.
All right, and me, Pink Stuff here. For future reference, when Hideo Kojima cancels a game, Metal Gear Solid Rising, don't go ahead and make it, because we've seen the trailer now for Metal Gear Solid Rising, and we know now.
No.
Oh no,
Metal
no,
Gear
not. Oh, I'm
Rising.
sorry. Metal Gear Rising, Revengeance. It's awful. It looks horrible. Now, if it comes out and it's the best game ever, I apologize. But what are the odds of that? They're not.
You know, Platinum Games is making it, and we're getting off a little bit off the tangent, but Platinum Games also did Bayonetta, also did Vanquish. Played Bayonetta, really enjoyed it. Vanquish, I barely tried. I tried the demo, didn't really like it.
Don't do it.
I don't. You know, Raiden was a badass in Metal Gear Solid 4.
Finally.
He looks. This game looks terrible.
So yeah, for future reference, when Kojima cancels a game, don't make it.
Super Playbox 64. Super Playbox 64.
So, anything to finish up with?
We needed to do the contest. We're going to try to do a contest.
Okay.
So
Pink Stuff's gonna give us some kind of.
it's an
gonna be a
auditory
movie.
clue.
Yeah, it's in a movie.
It's a cryptic
we'll give
clue.
you that one for now. But if you can send us an email with, I don't know, address or email address, we'll either gift you something on Steam or
We'll see.
We'll hook you up.
We'll hook you with something.
Something. It won't be stupid. It'd be awesome. So, Q.
So if you can name the origin of this sound,
You can just give us a general.
We will give you hook you up with some stuff, something.
Go.
And one more time, the clue. The clue is. So if you can guess that,
It's spot on. Too.
email
Really.
superplaybox64@gmail.com is the email address. And not just about that, but anything. If you just want to talk.
Word.
Dog.
And we're out.
So that,
And it's the
that's it.
first person that gets it right, not the first person and the 90 others that read, or hear about the answer. Just the first person gets the prize.
Well, nobody else is going to read it.
I'm just saying for
The one guy
disclaimers
who-
and whatnot.
Future
The guy we
reference.
talked about earlier.
Oh, okay.
All right.
For future reference,
Thanks
yes.
everyone for listening. I'm Pink Stuff.
Wonder Boy.
Android. Goodbye.
Super Playbox 64. Super Playbox 64. Super Playbox 64.